of the family of Mindy Medin, Your Honor.
All right, so now we're about to get to the
You would still be
sentencing
there?
and the
She might
family's
be more
impact
comfortable
statement.
just sitting
Okay.
there.
We got Mindy's sister up here. Wow.
Please raise your right hand before you're seated.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
They have her sworn in?
I just ran up the stairs, so sorry if I'm.
Just hold on. Just catch your breath.
Okay, let's see.
Take it easy.
All right. I've kept up with the entire trial and decided to drive 3 hours this morning to be here because I couldn't let this chapter of my life end without at least saying something.
She was watching the show.
Unlike you, I have cried a lot over the last few weeks. My thoughts, anxiety, and emotions have been a roller coaster. They have been all over the place while having to deal with this trial. I go through anger, sadness, frustration, grief, stress, and every feeling that you can think of. You lived with us for 15 months with providing no financial contributions. 15 months that I will never be able to get back. At times when you lived with us, I told you how your actions had affected me, and this impact statement isn't much different. Whether you take away anything from this, that is not my intention at this point. You've shown no guilt and absolutely no remorse. You haven't even shed a tear.
He tried.
You thrive on the illusion of power and attention. You're a pathological liar, sociopath, psychopath, murderer. You thought you were so much smarter than everyone else, but you aren't. You wanted people to believe you were a victim of abuse, while you were the one being abusive, at least mentally. You have forever changed the meaning of trust for me and our family. I can no longer trust people in the same way as I did before you continuously lied and ultimately took Mindy's life. Mm-hmm. There will always be some questions that will go unanswered, but to answer them would mean to try to understand a murderer's mindset, and that is one I will never understand.
Amen.
Mindy was bright, beautiful, empathetic, confident, independent. She loved music and making others feel special.
Dang.
She always put her family and friends first. Once my husband Frank and I had our daughter, Mindy wanted to choose a name that was different than the traditional aunt name. She decided on Lulu. She was never able to hear her sweet niece call her that.
Dang.
My daughter was 5 months old when y'all moved in. She will never know the fun times they experienced together. I'm thankful my daughter does not remember the 15 months you lived with us and sat right next to her at the dinner table. My daughter will never be able to experience the love her Aunt Mindy would have continued to give her.
Oh, man.
Mindy was taken too soon. No one should have to live through the violent and gruesome murder of a family member. You're a very evil man. When I learned the news of what really happened to Minnie, some of my first thoughts were that I couldn't believe that evil man lived in my house in a bedroom next to my 5-month-old daughter. You have no remorse for what you did. This loss has impacted so many beyond our family. The emotional wound you have caused will never heal. We have comfort knowing she is in heaven now, free from the trials and scars of this earth. We have overcome hatred, darkness, and evil. She is looking down on us now, being proud of how we have overcome. We are done being victims. We are taking back our lives. Since I'm a science person, I'm going to quote Isaac Newton. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Our family believes you deserve the maximum sentence, life without the possibility of parole, because Mindy doesn't have a parole. You deserve to sit in prison for the rest of your life and think about Mindy every single day.
He will.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that sound? That's the judge winding up the book, getting ready to throw it at Nick.
Your Honor, at this time the state would call Morgan
Paddock.
I can't wait to hear what the judge says to Nick, because he's been awfully chill during this trial.
You can raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
There are people literally all over this world that have been impacted by Mindy's life, and I'm here to speak on behalf of them. I always say my worlds collided with Mindy. Not only was she my high school friend, but after moving to Savannah, all of my college friends became her friends too. My roommates became her roommates. My church group became her church group. This entire trial has rightly been focused on what happened to Mindy, but Mindy was so much more than what happened to her. She was a bright light, vibrant, generous, funny, caring, a defender of others, passionate, trustworthy, and so much more. If anyone in her life would have been in her position, she would be standing right here today speaking for them. Nick, you slowly and strategically tried to dampen her light, isolating her from the people she deeply loved, robbing her of time, laughter, creating memories and peace, always living in fear and isolation. She loved you and trusted you to tell her the truth, to protect her, to live out your marriage vows. And yet you were the one that she needed protection from. Her death has had and will have an eternal impact on those that loved her. There are dinner tables and holiday pictures and memories that will be absent of her. There are little girls growing up without their fairy godmother. There are friends who will always ache to dress up and go out for drinks again. Email inboxes void of her opinions on the latest happenings in politics. Friends who can't expect her to stand with them in their proudest and hardest moments. Friends who won't have her in the audience of their concerts or harassing them for their latest released music. My everyday life in Savannah is now filled with the awareness that my friend was living and suffering within walking distance of my house. And I never knew. I will never be able to drive down 65th Street, go to a Smoothie King, pick up meds at CVS, or buy tennis shoes at our local shoe store without being haunted by the fact that you were frequenting all of those places for 5 months while my friend of over 20 years was suffering in fear and isolation as I drove mere feet from her driveway.
Yeah, you don't think about that.
But it's not just me and her friends that will miss out. This entire world is impacted by the ending of her life too soon. There are compelling women whose stories she will never get to tell on her podcast. There are strangers who will never know the beauty of the sound of her laughter or the impact of her most fiercest eye roll. Your conviction can't bring her back. It just means that you can't do it to anyone else. But every person you heard from on the stand and the many who are watching right now from a distance will never stop keeping the truth of who she was and her memory alive. You may have taken her life, but you will never be able to take her legacy, and she would want you to know that today.
Wow.
Your Honor, the state has one final statement that I'm going to ask to be read into the record. That statement would be read by Ms. Samantha Ashdown, our victim witness advocate, on behalf of Samantha Kolyesnik.
All right.
And the defense will object to the reading of that statement, as Ms. Kolyesnik, while obviously a victim of the circumstances here, is not a victim under the law that would be entitled to read a statement to the court.
But Judge, my position on that, as the court is aware, is that this is evidence in aggravation, not a victim impact statement.
It is. I'll overrule the objection. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Dang. What's up, Tesla?
Yes. There's no need to swear.
She's been in court most of
To
the
the
time.
court and to the Honorable Judge Rose. My name is Samantha Kolyesnik, and I am a victim of the defendant, Nicholas Kassotis, a.k.a. Nicholas Stark, the latter of which is the name he used while victimizing me in Pennsylvania. You were able to hear my testimony against Nicholas during this trial, and you were able to hear and see my pain and my tears firsthand. I recounted his horrible acts of deception against me. I trembled taking the stand to testify. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I did it because I feel Nicholas is a true and constant danger to everyone he meets. I feel that if given the chance, Nicholas will continue to exploit, abuse, deceive, and harm others. I testified knowing I would be filmed against my consent and that I would be humiliated in admitting I was defrauded by a man I met online, and that my privacy would be forever gone. I testified anyway because I strongly feel and believe that Nicholas is a danger to society and that he must be held accountable. Ms. Bayo, ADA for the prosecution, mentioned ripples from Nicholas's dropping stone as an analogy for an impact of his choices. I am one ripple. I have not been the same since I found out about his deception from Agent Sands, and I will never be the same again. On the date of his arrest, when Agent Sands of the GBI told me Nicholas Stark was not his real name and that Nicholas had been lying to me, my entire world turned upside down. My sense of trust shattered. I felt humiliated, deceived, traumatized, and unsure if I would ever be able to feel joy or hope or trust again. I also felt stupid and will continuously be called stupid and gullible by some in the public eye as a result of trusting a man who was once a naval officer, a JAG, an employee of the Pentagon, a man who had every opportunity and privilege in life. Everyone trusted Nicholas, and he knew it, and he privately relished and delighted in lying to them and in abusing that trust. He is a man who delights in deception, a man who thinks he's smarter than everyone in the room he walks in. I also felt terrified beginning on the date of his arrest and thereafter, and will forever be haunted by what he would have potentially happened to me if the GBI and Detective Jack Frost's team had not tracked, found, and arrested Nicholas Stark, a.k.a. Kassotis, when they did. I fully believe that the wonderful law enforcement agencies of Georgia saved my life that day, and I will be forever grateful to them for saving me from the evil man who goes by many names, one of them being Nicholas Stark. I was diagnosed with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, as a result of Nicholas Stark's cruel actions towards me. I have nightmares, flashbacks, and panic attacks. I lock my bedroom door every night. I do not feel deceived by Nicholas Stark, a.k.a. Kassotis. I feel raped by him. I was not allowed to
Dang.
consent to a romantic and intimate relationship with Nicholas because he lied about his entire identity to me. There was no opportunity for true consent, and he ensured that with his vast network of lies. This is called rape by fraud, but unfortunately is not recognized in Pennsylvania, so all I could do was pursue an annulment on the basis of his fraud. I am sure Nicholas Stark, since he is a lawyer after all, knew those statutory limitations when he deceived me. I do not feel Nicholas feels 1 ounce of shame or remorse for his deceptions against many people, including those he perpetrated against me. He has sat in this courtroom and has attempted to make every mockery of it with his smug expressions, his arrogant demeanor, and his lack of tears as his victims, one after the other, have talked about how he deceived them. I beg and implore and plead to the court, please give this man the maximum sentencing. And please, if at all possible, by
The court
sentencing
will.
protocol and legislation, please do not allow this man to do paid interviews or in any way profit from his crimes. Nicholas, due to his sick need for control and his sadistic desire to humiliate and defraud others, will absolutely try to profit off his crimes in prison. Please do not allow Nicholas to write books or to sign movie deals or even take paid interviews. He must not be allowed to extract any more from the victims than he already has taken so much. I also ask that he not be granted any chance for parole. A man who lies as much as Nicholas
He won't.
has and will always be a danger to society, especially the most trusting and vulnerable among us. Sincerely, Samantha Kolesnik.
Thank you.
That judge
Those are the
got the
only
book ready.
evidence of aggravation
Are
that
y'all
the state
done yet?
intends to present. Do you wish the state's argument, or do you wish to have
I'll wait
mitigation
till I hear
first?
from the defense.
Get the book
Does
ready,
the defense
Judge.
have any evidence in mitigation?
Just like to present the defendant's mother to testify in English.
You may.
His mother's gonna talk? Oh. No, Mom. Don't do this, Mom.
Witness, Your Honor.
Don't do this.
Calls Wayne Kassotis.
You can come up here, sir.
Wayne, please. Please, Wayne, don't do this.
Thank you.
No. This is not gonna go
Can
well.
we swear you in, sir?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
Don't do this, Wayne.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Heard a lot of things in this courtroom this morning. Last over 2 years have been hell for all of us, including Nicholas. Although I don't agree with the verdict that was reached in this court that the jury reached, I do respect the process. They have no idea who Nicholas was. Nicholas is a kind, gentle man that has touched thousands of lives,
Wayne.
both as a civilian and as a military person. Nobody saw pictures of him helping underprivileged children in South America
No,
as a
Wayne.
naval officer.
No, Wayne. No.
Nobody saw him helping friends as he was growing up. He is truly a wonderful, kind person. And from the beginning, when this all broke, from the lies that Agent Sand told to family members, we never believed that this was possible, and we still do not believe that this is possible. We know the person sitting there, our son, as a kind and gentle person that would not do this.
Then
And
why'd you
there's
beat the
really no
shit out of
evidence
him,
that showed
Wayne?
That he did. I just want you to be considerate and look at the man who he is and who always will be. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Jesus.
Mr. Kassotis. Thank you very much.
What?
defense calls the defendant's mother, Linda Kassotis.
Linda, sit down, Linda. Listen, Linda. Linda, listen,
Ma'am,
Linda.
you're welcome to stand here or you can go up there.
Don't do this.
Please raise
I'm
your
begging you, please,
Swear or
Linda.
affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh my God, this is brutal.
Your Honor, I would like to say first how incredibly sorry we are for Mindy's family that they had to go through this. We have never spoken since we heard the news of Mindy's death, but we feel incredible sympathy for them that they lost their daughter. But Nicholas was not responsible for this.
Not the
We know
butt.
him to be a kind and gentle person. As you know from the testimony, we had not been in touch with him for years through circumstances beyond our control, and every member of our family suffered as a result of that. People missed him so desperately. My mother said she had never gone a Christmas without seeing or hearing from him, and suddenly he was gone from our lives, and we had no idea why. He is a good and kind and gentle person. The thought that he could take someone else's life is just unbelievable, honestly. I respect the jury's work that they did, but they got this one wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh my God,
Thank you.
Linda.
Thank you.
Linda.
Anything else, Mr. Counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this time I'll hear argument from counsel.
Your Honor, may I?
You may.
I mean, that's got, as a parent, this has got to be.
Your Honor, this-
She's gonna be dramatic. As a parent, just think about it as a parent for a minute, guys. I mean, this person, as a woman, as the mother, came out of her body. She birthed a person who has been found guilty of this crime. In Wayne's case, he created the person who's been found guilty of this crime. I mean, again, I wouldn't even call them delusional. As I said in the chat, I would call them just parents, because I can imagine most parents would find this hard to believe, especially with someone who has shown that they can be that manipulative and hide certain things. Listen, we heard from the family and friends, even they were shocked and surprised, and they were close to Nick. Her best friend's kids apparently didn't know Nick that well, and they were calling him Uncle Nick. So I get it from their standpoint, but I think there's a time and a place for that. And maybe it would have been to WTOC during a news press conference and not here in the courtroom, out of respect for the family. But hey, it's just me.
Your Honor, this case is a case that the court has obviously spent the last 2 weeks present for and listening to all of the testimony. As a result, I don't plan to go over any of that. I think Morgan may have said it best when she described how Mindy and her life impacts the world. When a sentence is rendered, I think the court has always, and I think I've even heard you say, has to evaluate not just how it impacts the defendant, but the message of rehabilitation, if possible, versus punishment, if necessary. The law in the state of Georgia entitles on a murder conviction only 3 options, essentially: the death penalty, life without parole, or life with the possibility of parole. In this case, Your Honor, the defendant is additionally facing all of the additional crimes that can run consecutively. That would be the concealing death of another, which he faces up to 10 years, possession of a knife during commission of a felony, which is mandatory 5 years consecutive, although it could be, of course, probated. And then all of the counts of possession of tools for the commission of the crime that he's facing up to 5 years for each of those. And then the 2 misdemeanors are, of course, up to 12 months. that is more than what I would refer to as natural life. The state's position, Your Honor, is that the defendant should never be released from prison, that he is a danger to society, that his testimony before this court under oath was fraud, that he was dishonest, that he perjured himself, and that, of course, is the state's position. I'm sure counsel for the defense would disagree, and I think that goes to the question, however, of whether or not there is remorse or whether there is some validation to something less than life without parole. The jury has now determined that he not only killed his wife, but that he threw her out like garbage across 3 miles with the hope that no one would ever catch him.
Mm-hmm.
If that depravity could not be any worse conduct to deserve life without the possibility of parole, I don't know what could. But for the good work of members of law enforcement, all of the teams that worked so hard to run every detail down, we would not be here today. And so, Your Honor, it is the state's position that the defendant in this case should get the maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole. The state will defer to the court with respect to all of the other counts, as I essentially believe that they are, you can't get more than forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tatum.
I agree.
Your Honor, the jury has rendered its verdict. While obviously we don't agree with that, we understand that is your obligation to sentence him under that verdict. Mr. Kassotis is a highly educated man. He's a man that served his country honorably. You've heard a lot of testimony,
Y'all can't take that away
not just
from
from his parents, but from witnesses on the stand of his kindness. I think there is an opportunity for rehabilitation in this case.
Oh, no, Doug.
Especially given his past.
No.
So I would ask the court to sentence him to life with the possibility of parole. Those other counts that can be served concurrently, that the sentence have them served concurrently. I understand there's one count that must be consecutive. So that's the position of the defense, Your Honor.
He's going to be there until he dies. I mean, just two consecutive
And Mr. Weinstein,
20
your
years is he's going
client
to be
has the
100.
right to address the court if he so chooses.
Let me verify.
Nick, please shut up.
He will not be addressing the court.
Thank God.
And have him
Jesus.
stand for sentencing.
It's got to be a Kassotis that knows when to not talk.
Mr. Kassotis, a jury of 12 citizens in Liberty County, Georgia, has now determined beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty of the offense of murder, along with 11 other counts. This jury has spoken very clearly. It is now my duty under the law to impose a sentence that is consistent with that verdict. It is also my duty to look at the evidence and weigh the sufficiency of that evidence.
He's not getting parole.
And sir, the evidence in this case is supported by a mountain of compelling evidence. This case has revealed a
I used the term
level of
mountain yesterday.
depravity that truly shocks the conscience. To put together this elaborate scheme, this web of lies, creating this fictional character, Jim McIntyre, who does not exist.
Dang.
You wrote fiction, and your life was a fiction, at least the last 6 or 7 years.
Cook him, Judge.
And then you carried out, or the evidence shows that you carried out a brutal, horrific, gruesome murder. of Mindy, someone who's been described by various witnesses as beautiful, kind, loving, vibrant, smart. And all of her hopes and dreams vanished in an instant. Her life tragically cut short
I hope it was an instant.
by you. Someone who professed to love her, to care for her. Just the ultimate betrayal. And then you desecrated her body in such a vile way, discarding her remains out in a rural area of Liberty County, hoping that they would never be discovered. This shows beyond all doubt that you have no conscience. When I described to this jury this morning the elements of the crime of malice murder, the language used in the Georgia statute is that the circumstances show an abandoned and malignant heart. That describes you. You have caused so much harm to your own family, to all of those who have been impacted by your deeds. This is truly a heinous crime. So the court has considered all the facts and circumstances of the case. And the court will now impose sentence that reflects the gruesome nature of your criminal conduct.
He ain't never
As to
getting out.
count one, malice murder, the court hereby imposes a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Although you've been convicted in count 2 of felony murder, that count would merge into count 1. As to count 3, the sentence of the court for aggravated assault
20 years.
is 20 years to serve in the state penitentiary, and it runs consecutive to count 1.
Cook his ass.
Count 4, concealing the death of another, the sentence of the court is 10 years
These will all be
to
concurrent.
run concurrently to count 1.
He's going to get life plus 20.
Count 5, possession of a
parole.
knife during the commission of a felony is
Concurrent.
required to be consecutive. So the court imposes a sentence of 5 years consecutive to count 1.
Jeez.
As to count 6, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, the court imposes a sentence of 5 years to serve, and that shall run concurrently to the other counts. Court will impose the same sentence on count 7, 5 years to serve, running concurrently. As to count 8, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, again, the court will impose a sentence of 5 years to run concurrently. As to count 9, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, the court imposes a sentence of 5 years, again to serve concurrently. As to count 10, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, the court imposes a sentence of 5 years to be served concurrently. Counts 11 and 12 are both misdemeanors. They carry a maximum sentence of 12 months. The court will impose a sentence of 12 months as to each count, counts 11 and 12, and they shall run concurrently. The totality of the sentence being a sentence of life without parole plus 20 years to serve. Sir, you have a right to seek post-judgment relief
Nah.
from your convictions of these crimes. And you can do that by filing a motion for new trial or filing a direct appeal to the appellate court. That
Unless
will
you
have
don't
to be
find Jim,
filed
you better
within
sit
30
your-
days of today's date with the clerk of Superior Court in Liberty County, Georgia. If a motion for new trial is made and the court denies it, You will then have 30 days from the filing of that order to file with the clerk a notice of appeal to the appellate level. You also have a right to file a petition for habeas corpus. And that would have to be filed within 4 years of the date that the sentence and judgment in this case is deemed to be final. If you cannot afford an attorney to pursue your appellate relief, a lawyer will be appointed for you, and I'm sure that Mr. Weinstein will discuss with you all of your appellate rights.
Wow.
Is there anything else that needs to be placed on the record before the defendant is remanded to custody?
Your Honor, I just want to clarify. The court indicated life without parole for count 1, 20 years to serve consecutive on count 3, and 5 years to serve consecutive on count 5. Is that correct?
Correct.
Then that would be life without parole plus 25.
That is correct.
I just want to make sure the record was
I
correct.
misspoke.
Thank you, sir.
It's mandatory by law.
Correct. I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the only position of the state.
Yep, y'all got it right.
He is remanded to custody.
Yeah, no time served either.
Court stands adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There it is, y'all. That's the end. Life without parole plus 25. He ain't never getting out. This is, look at these people right here. His sister is devastated, seems like. Can't believe she grew up with a murderer. His mother, his father. I mean, goodness. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And I will never have to imagine because it's not going to happen. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Did the jury get it right? Did the judge do the right thing by throwing the book at him? Should Wayne and Linda have spoken? Do that in the press conference, man. We don't need to hear that. I know this is going to be your last chance, but the judge does not care what y'all have to say at this point. Of course, you're going to see your son as my angel. Let me know what y'all think.